Chronic, a Sick Novel. By Paul Lima, narrated by Archie Marcus. Dedication. This book is dedicated to my wife Lynn, who has been with me in sickness and in health, but for the last 7 years mostly in sickness. This book is also dedicated to MS warriors everywhere, to other chronically ill folks, and to those with any malady that knocks them off their feet. Special thanks to Gabriel Pulpin for her copy editing of this book, and for her insightful comments that helped me tighten the writing and bring greater focus to the book. It is a better book because of her. Note, if you want to comment on the book, email paulmslima@gmail.com. Published by Paul Lima. Copyright Paul Lima. All rights reserved. paullima.com/books. Chapter 1. Paul Emile is dreaming that he is packing. His suitcase is small and full, and he is still trying to cram in clothes, shoes, cans of food, a loaf of bread, and toilet paper. His dream shifts, and he is driving a truck, suitcase in his lap as he reaches over it to shift gears. It is pouring rain. His windshield wipers work, but only intermittently. The road is narrow and rocky. His headlights illuminate a sign, "Road Ends." What he can see when the wipers clear his window is the end of the road, which drops off steeply. He hits the brakes, but the car skids over a cliff. As he spills over in slow motion, he wakes up with a jolt and in a sweat. He opens his eyes and sees his hands in front of him, reaching out to break his fall. Paul, who has just turned 35, has some indigenous blood in him. This gives his skin a slightly shaded hue. He has high cheekbones, inherited from his native grandfather, and his thin eyelashes blink inquiringly over large dark eyes. His long nose slops gently down to just above his thin red lips. For a decade, he had relapsing, remitting multiple sclerosis. His symptoms would come and go, lasting sometimes for several weeks, and often for several months or longer. Then they would disappear, and he'd feel fine for a month or more, until the next MS exacerbation hit. Now, however, he has secondary progressive MS with symptoms that come and do not go. They just pile on. But he does not have primary progressive MS. People with that version of the disease progress at different speeds, from walking with a cane, to riding a scooter, to requiring a wheelchair, to being unable to get out of bed without assistance. Paul blames his white genes for his MS, as it is a rare disease amongst indigenous people. His blame is ironic because his mother was a short, strong, healthy Italian-Canadian. She was killed in her late 50s while she was riding her motorcycle. When Paul was 30, she was hit by a truck making an illegal left turn. His father, slightly overweight, half Native American and half white, died from a heart attack hours after hearing about the death of his wife. It was as if he could not live without her and wanted to join her, Paul thought. Paul looks at the clock on his night table. It is 7:30 a.m. He has time to shower and have breakfast before he meets with Dina Troy, a woman in her mid-30s with Parkinson's disease. They became friends over several renovations that Dina completed at his house, his old house that he no longer shares with Kalina Appleby, his indigenous ex-wife who still lives in there. He left her because of the progression of his MS, telling her she should meet someone new and healthy and get on with life. Kalina is a therapist. She didn't understand why Paul, a motivational speaker, or former motivational speaker as he now describes himself, left. As hard as she tried, using every therapeutic trick in the book, she could not talk him out of leaving. But she has let him go, because that is what he needed in order to accept, or at least better deal with, a disease that is destroying his ability to be the man he was. Paul uses a cane to walk. He can amble without it, but his balance is often shaky. He has various body tingles and pain, and suffers intermittent fatigue that can be so profound that it causes him to pass out. That is why he describes himself as a former motivational speaker. He no longer wants to take to the stage, fearing he might be hit by an attack of fatigue and pass out while speaking. Not very motivational, he told Kalina before leaving. His website says he is on temporary hiatus from motivational speaking. It is as if he cannot accept that his speaking days are over, that he hopes his condition will magically improve.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?